Welcome to Boxcars, War Machine and Horde's supplementary podcast for War Room PL YouTube channel.
You can find us online at www.warroom.pl. You will also find our blog there. Visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/warroompl for great video battle reports. You can also like our Facebook page for latest War Machine news under facebook.com/warroompl. If you have a small meta and want to develop as a player or just try out different lists in international environment, you can play online on Vassal. It's free, but you can support developers by donating. Welcome to episode 36 of Boxcars. I am Marcin and I'm playing minions.
I'm Rafał and I'm still playing Crix.
I'm Tomasz and I play Circular Orboros.
Cool. And we are still here. We had a longer break for summer vacation where we didn't record, but we were still busy doing some other things.
Playing War Machine still.
And playing War Machine as well. And preparing for WTC, not only for playing, but also for streaming WTC. Because we will this year stream the full WTC matches. So all the 5 games will be recorded and streamed. And the commentators will go over all the tables, etc. So
do we intend to stream all the 5 at the same time?
No. The bandwidth of the hotel internet will not be enough to carry 6 streams at once.
So there will be 1 or 2?
Yeah. I think we'll only stream the main event will stream, but we might go into streaming it on multiple platforms. So maybe we'll go for Facebook and YouTube. I will see. I will see how the bandwidth is there when we are there, because the Guild Ball wants to be streamed, so to say. I don't know if they will set up something or not. So maybe we'll have to share the hotel internet bandwidth with them. So for sure we'll stream the main event.
Yeah, but we will record one match and stream one game out of the match, right?
Yeah, it will be every game in the match will be recorded.
Yes.
And the commentators will be able to switch between all the tables. So they will commentate on the whole match, not only on one game, but they will commentate on the whole match.
Okay, great.
So I went through the checklist of what equipment I'm still missing and ordered a lot of stuff. So there will be couriers packages coming to me next few days with the missing equipment, and probably early next week I will do the final test of the equipment.
I wonder if the next WTC also won't be in Poland, because there was a talk 2 years ago to switch the type of the event to 2 year. So one venue will be for 2 years, or one location, let's say, will be for 2 years, and then it will switch to, if there is anybody willing to do this, to another location.
I'm pretty certain that people will like the new location in general. Large hotel, international airport with competitive prices of stay and good Polish food. I think everybody should be happy.
Yeah, but it's not only about the tournament, but also about traveling, seeing new places, stuff.
Yeah,
I would appreciate a new location every year.
Yeah, but most people are in it for the tournament, so I'm looking at it from my point of view.
And you are now talking about ClockCon that we went twice and we never left the hotel, okay? Except in the car.
I'm talking right now about 95% of the tournaments I go to, and I never leave the hotel.
We were in Oslo and we went out once to eat something and then stayed at the hotel. So he's not the best, party animal. I mean, Marcin.
Yeah, now you said that. I remember my stay in Malmo, and we left the hotel only to go to the shop and back home. So
there is no time for that.
Unless you come, shitty stuff. You have to play.
Unless you come 1 week earlier, and then you have probably time and need to go out and not play for a moment.
If I come earlier, I would just try to find someone to play earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
We will be there earlier, Tomasz, don't worry. I want to book a game with you. Can we?
Sure.
Do you want to? Because I will be early on Friday. And as we finish, as I finish helping Marcin with setting up, I hope, I want to play a game. I think you can use some Scar one, as she's very popular.
All right. I'm up to
it. I also booked one game with Tomasz already, because it seems like every player from Circle copied his list, so if I play it with him, then I played it with everybody.
Kinda? You might be surprised.
Really? Some people switch one solo or what?
No. It's not like that. Tomasz is
They
right.
go crazy.
No. His list, his Kruger list is not so popular.
He's using... I know that the pilot of the list is as important as the list itself. I understand that.
It's not about that. Is it right, Tomasz, that they don't have battle engine mainly in their versions of Kruger?
Yeah, many have Guardian instead. So that's the difference. And another difference is the one Marcin mentioned. In Sweden, in team tournament, there was a guy that was playing Kruger too. He said he took the list from internet, so I guess it was my list. And in the team tournament, they paired their Kriegs player that had the most practice with the Kruger friend. So we started playing, and after the first round, he said that this list might be the same list, but it's completely different. So he basically lost that game round 1 because he did not expect play I've made. So I think both of those lists are so flexible that everyone can play it differently with success.
Yeah, different approach.
I have one question. Anybody knows if Australians are coming earlier or not?
Yes, they are. A week earlier.
Maybe I come on Thursday then?
Yeah, would be an option. I have to book it with my wife.
English guys should be there a week earlier.
Yeah, so everybody comes a week earlier.
Except Polish guys.
Yeah, we are there already. I wanted to have a small rant, because when I started Minions a year ago, it was like Snowflake faction with 6 players on WTC. And what the hell is happening now? It's like 14 players. It's like almost Circle level of players.
Yeah, sure.
And everyone knows Circle is broken and everyone plays Circle.
Yeah. And they will be next Kriegs when they finish the CAD. That's the talk of the city.
Well, it seems half of the Signal players went playing Minions or something. And the other half started playing Grimkin.
I listened to LOS podcast during the day, and Brett was talking that he's going Circle. So
after the CID.
Team Banky said he's going to the Circle.
Yeah, isn't Brett playing Magic?
Yeah, maybe he found the love back in Circle.
Okay.
I mean, if it will be as broken, I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm playing Kriegs, okay?
Yeah. You will stop it.
I wonder only. Do you guys, because I want to stop playing Kriegs after the WTC.
It's like stop taking drugs. You need a rehab and support of friends.
Yeah, that was a joke that it happened.
You never saw that coming, what?
No, I think you have prepared.
I have noted them down. Yeah, exactly. every week there came one moment where I had a joke in my mind and I wrote it down so I can save it for the first podcast after the summer.
Okay, great.
But I'm all out.
Okay. But I think that if I switch to Mercs or to Crucible Guards or something else, I don't know. Depending on what my mystery box will have, it would be funny if I get 2 Kriegs boxes.
No, if you order them together, you cannot get 2 the same.
Yeah, I know, but it would be still funny if I get 2 Kriegs boxes and the gods of the dice and the War Machine are willing me to play Kriegs all time. But anyway, I'm a little bit afraid that really Kriegs is, what can I say, quite powerful.
Yeah. My local friendly post office informed me that there are 5 unidentified packages waiting for me to for the officials to take care of them.
Okay, so you'll pay at least 500 zlotys for the
probably more.
tax. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the taxes are waiting.
Just give me a second, I have to check something. Just give me.
Yeah.
You can talk, I will just check something, okay?
So anyway,
No, I'm back, sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted, because on my recording machine there was written that I recorded 0 kilobytes, and I thought, So I stopped for a second, but resumed, and it's 17 megabytes, so it's looking good. Okay.
It doesn't show you how much you recorded unless you stop it, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I want it to be.
So today's episode we want to talk about WTC lists that dropped some time ago. Thanks to Conflict Chamber, they dropped very fast, and there was already some episodes about it in the air. But we want to talk about it anyway.
Tomasz, what is your opinion about WTC list?
I think there's not much surprises. I was expecting to see some crazy lists, but actually they are to be expected. There's almost no surprises. I mean, some Australian teams have weird lists, weird compositions, but the caster choices and the composition of faction is pretty much to be expected.
Yeah, is it though? I mean, Australian meta is a bit separated from European and US meta, so I would guess that their lists are more cut for their meta, probably. Like European lists are cut for European meta a bit.
I don't know, because we have so many podcasts and battle reports and stuff, every meta is looking into another meta. We test the same list, we have share some ideas internationally, so I don't think any meta in the world right now is that different from each other.
But do you think that Marcin asked that on the Facebook of Chain Attack, if it's more the preparation or if it's more the surprise issue, let's say, to get the better results at WTC? And I think most of the people chose not the surprise but the preparation, because if let's say there are 500 games of players and you can check the results on Facebook, on the forum, on YouTube, and so on, you can play a little bit less. I mean, people talk about that if you take a list that are popular, then you get more, let's say, information about them, how they work, what is their weaknesses and strengths. And I think that for WTC, people really opted for this solution. But do you think that if you can take something special, is it worth it or not? What are your opinions?
I think it's worth it. I think it's because, take a look at the last year in Germany. They went into, so to say, tank and came up with lists tweaked that pierced through the meta. Like they were one step ahead, and they were not crazy bananas lists staying on the head, but they were a bit like step forward. And when I was looking at the list, I went through all of them at least twice, some of them more than twice. And my personal observations were that Canada's lists are, I think, now a bit one step ahead of meta, probably, or half a step. Just they are a bit out of being conservative. And for example, England's lists are very strong, but very conservative. I don't think they have so many tweaks. I'm not saying that each of those teams will perform better or worse from the other, but this is my observation. And last year's example of Germany, they went ahead of the meta, I think, and this was this one of the small bricks that helped them win. And this year, I think USA is pretty conservative. Norway is somewhere in the middle, between conservative and half a step into forward. It's all my opinions that are hot takes, so don't take it. And Australia is like 2 steps ahead. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. This is something that
I don't know. It might be also 1 step too far. So this we will see. We'll see in the result. Yeah, but we have to also look at it that in such a large tournament, in such a large pressure environment, all of this might come to the single mistake at the end, or a brain fart, or something like this, that the team loses, although they were very well prepared and had great lists. So there are many things.
I think it's surprising that you say that Canadian lists are 1 step ahead.
Yeah, I don't see that either, but come on, go on, sorry.
The thing is that I feel like Canadians were the loudest in this time just before the lists were released. Like 2-3 months from now, they were joining a lot of podcasts, sharing a lot of battle reports and stuff.
No, they are not really hiding their list or anything.
That's what I wanted to say. They used the same list. Pretty much the same list they were sharing with people. So.
Yeah, take a look at, for example, I'm not really. It's not. That's why I'm saying half a step, because Charles Sung, he was playing, I think, Ostrom 1 and Magnus 2 for a long time now. Yes. But last list I saw him using didn't have 2 Tauros and 3 Nomads in Magnus 2. So he has now 5 heavies and 2 Talons. I think he was using much more infantry.
Yeah,
maybe, but it was a time when he had no access to Tauros, because but there was no Crucible.
It's maybe even a bigger change, right? Chris Orr is using Anamak and Lilith 1. Who is using Lilith 1 nowadays? I haven't seen her win. It's like Anamak and Kalos, everybody.
Yeah, in Legion it's not so obvious.
So the most conservative of the team is Baba Dalton, who is using Scourgery and Asphyxious Slayer spam. That's the most conservative of the whole. And team Benki is using Madrak 1 and Borka 2. Okay, Borka 2. Where is the Korgrima? For conservative people. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But I mean, if we were, that's why I'm looking at that team, and when I was checking out, our matchups and everything, I was marking, okay, I know what to do here, I know what to drop here, and I was repeating this 7 times in a row. And then I come to Canada, and what the hell? I'm spending 5 minutes thinking what I drop into Charles Sung or Hrisor, because they did something else with their list, at least in my opinion, right? And so those teams that I had to spend more time on thinking what I dropped in them, I think they are a bit ahead of meta because they did something differently. Most of the teams are in the current meta, They have very good lists, but I played into something similar, and I know what to expect. So I know what I would like to drop and what game I would like to play. And in case of like Canada and Australia and who else? Yeah, for those two for sure. And Norway, they are a bit tweaked ahead. So I changed a bit, yeah. So yeah, this is my like general view into that.
But that doesn't matter because WTC is going to be won by some country like Slovenia or something like this that no one expects.
You think so?
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
But we know one guy from Slovenia, Tevž Delak. He played with us Flames of War.
Yeah, I've mentioned them because I've heard they are really good this year, and they are the dark horse.
Doesn't Simon play with them?
Yep.
Okay.
And they had a week-long camp when they played like 50 games each. So that's dedication, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, this is also one of the points that you need dedication of the whole team to work hard and etc. So yeah, of course there will be always some dark horses, but then again, it might be that the dark horse with a step ahead of meta, so to say, will face Pat Dunfor's team and get smashed, and they will never end up being dark horse. Yeah, that's how the wheel is rolling, or England Knights or whoever will be smashed by a dark horse. You never know what will happen, right? So we can only terrorize. But one thing that Rafał said just before the cast, the WTC is the most conservative tournament of the year, right? Because people prepare for that tournament for a very long time. They usually don't take lists that they don't spend like 50 or 100 games with them. And this is why they are usually lists that are well known in the meta, because the players that win with them use them all the time. And that's why the meta is stagnant around that time of year as well, because people don't change things all the time, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Every year it's the same, right? The meta, so to say, stops evolving for a moment, unless there is a huge change, like Kador had CID that dropped before, and they will all use Mono Wars that nobody knows how to handle. Yeah, I know. You know everything, Tomek, so don't worry. So I know. But let's maybe go over
statistics.
The statistics. Statistics raises. Whatever.
Yeah, they are not very popular because they're not fitting to the meta, I would say.
Yeah. So the stats, I will go over the factions like they were dropped this year. So the top, the most taken faction, surprise, is Grix. With 62.
Do you think, guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a Grix player, but do you think, guys, that if there won't be Gaspi free, then there will be so much Grix?
No.
Hard to say, because that faction is so broken that they will quickly find another spam.
No, this is the faction of the spam, right? It was always like that. This was the intention of the PP, and they have some real strong backers in the staff of PP that like to have a Grix as a good faction. But anyway, I wonder really. Funny thing is that if you look at the Grix's caster numbers, there were almost no S6s free last year. There were some crazy things, but not many. And now it's the top caster, okay? But even more funny is that Scar 1 is also 25 players, as many as Asphyxius, and nothing has changed with Scar 1.
Yeah.
And this supports your thesis that the Crix will always find an answer, because Scar 1 was always like this. Nothing changed during the MK3. So when the Coven was nerfed and then it was nerfed, the Scar 1 come to the top, and Asphyxius is just one list caster. And I really wonder if the Asphyxius was not there, if there would be like 40 Crixes or 45 or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it would be similar level. I think that faction is not defined by 9 Slayers.
Do you think that? Do you think that they will nerf Asphyxius? I mean, the list, because this is the list. The faction is the list. So, do you think they will nerf it?
I think something will be done to it. Although I don't know what.
Yep, I think something is going to be done.
Yeah, me too. Honestly,
I hope so, at least, because it's no fun. Everyone is playing the same list.
The same shit. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that after WTC, although I'm really not satisfied with that, because Heli 2 last year was nerfed before WTC. So
yeah, but the nerf, it's more difficult. I think
the nerf came 1 week before. So
yeah, I know, but that would be funny if they nerf it next week.
No, it was 1 week before the list drop.
Yeah, right. No, they told us that they won't change anything, and also Red Distribution CAD won't be coming live before the WTC. Yeah, but I wonder if they will change the Team Force or they will change the caster. I hope they won't change the Slayer, because it's shitty, Jack. Really shitty.
I don't think they will. Probably something with Gaspy3 himself.
Or the Black Industries Team Force, because that's also a kind of issue.
I mean, the Carapace rule is
the Carapace rule is okay. Just on a 10 point check is a bit much.
I think too much is unyielding plus Carapace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that connection.
Because I played the Negra 2 at WTC, and we played it several times, and they are really squishy, like always have been, and nothing has changed. The Negra 2 plays a different game that suits me more, and I didn't like Slayers at all. So, but still, I think this is maybe if they take out the unyielding and maybe do something with the mobility, so people are not overwhelmed first turn if they lose the role, then they will be different. But
they can swap it to Escort.
Yeah, Escort, or I think that Pathfinder would be better, just Pathfinder.
And I really like the Negra 2 is in the meta, because people will not be that upset about nerfing Gaspy3, because their Slayer, they can still use their Slayers with the Negra 2, and it's a good list.
Yeah, it's different list. Maybe not so powerful in the straight way, but more interesting to play, definitely. And as I play her, I thought that she's weak, and I didn't like her at the beginning, but after each game I like her more. She's really funny to play, much more than Asphyxius.
Her ceiling is high.
Yeah, and she can do different things that really strange things she can do. So, do we do more Crix?
Just we can note that in 2016 there was 30 players that played Crix. In 2017 there was 53 players, and 2018 is 62. So,
but it's not such a big increase. I mean,
from 2016 it's double, and from 2017 it's just 9 more players. It's almost double from the next faction. So Crix is really a huge chunk of the meta of the WTC currently.
And this is something that is really different from the perspective of the other players, because at the WTC Kriegs is prevalent, and it's 1/5 of the game is Kriegs of the players, and in local metas or at the tournaments, Kriegs is not so prevalent anymore.
No, you will probably not see many tournaments when almost 20% of the players is playing Kriegs, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of those tournaments. So if you didn't brought your Kriegs answer in plenty, then you are in trouble right now in WTC. So all right. So the next up is Signar, and surprise, it's a second faction. It's 33 players, and it's a drop by 19 players from the last year. So I guess the nerfs had to hurt Signar players, and well, they went over to different. Oh, Rafał, your church is ringing.
Yeah, my church is ringing. I closed the window. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes,
Signar...
I don't own the church. He's just my neighbor.
so Signar is to its almost 2016 numbers, where there was 34 players in 2016. Then there was huge jump to 52 players in 2017, and then now back to 33 players.
What do you think about Signar, Tomasz? What do you think about Signar? You play against them often or not?
Not that often. I mean, I've played some, and I have good matchup into most of the faction, so I'm not worried about Signar myself, and I think it's the healthy amount there.
It's funny because Kruger too. It's like an automatic Signar drop.
Yeah.
And it's really funny that maybe I will go back for Kriegs for a second. I think that they do not. Maybe they will do something with players, Gaspi, whatever, just to please the public. I think, but as I was involved in the Crucible Guard CID, and I played already several games, like I think 15 or 20 with Crucible Guard already. I think that they intend not to punish the Kriegs by the way of nerfing, but they will punish the Kriegs by the way of Crucible Guard. And when the Crucible Guard will be prevalent in the metas that Crucible Guard will be prevalent, the Kriegs players will be not very happy at all. I mean, really not at all. And
heroes we deserve.
Yeah, and the thing is that I think this is what happens to Signar a little bit. That they didn't. I mean, they nerfed Scully too. What they nerf also?
Oh, the nerfs
Nemo
were
free.
Nemo.
I think this is the biggest factor that they dropped, and I'm pretty sad because having Kruger 2 in your pairing, I would love to see some Nemo.
You would love to see 52 players of Signar, and out of them 27 playing Nemo free, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, from the whole plateau of Signar casters, quite a few were nerfed. Like Haley 1 was nerfed, Sloan was nerfed.
How?
Sloan?
Yeah.
Oh, she had a better feat. And
yeah, at the beginning, okay.
Yeah, so she was nerfed pretty quickly. And then, yeah, Haley 2 was nerfed a couple of times, of course, and then Nemo was nerfed, and then Electroleap was nerfed as well. So I'm actually surprised that that the Signar is still second.
It's really a strong faction, and we both agree on that, okay?
It is a strong faction, but the faction took quite a few hits from its previous power.
It's hard to balance Signar because it's...
Shooting is hard to balance.
And Signar is also large, right?
Yeah, but they are ultimate attrition faction. Because if everybody is having sticks and they are shooting guns, then they will win any attrition context unless there is a scenario that is forcing them to do anything. So yeah, it's difficult to make them
So definitely one thing that is allowing Signar to stay in the game and still have so many players playing.
Haley 3.
It's Haley 3. Definitely. Although surprisingly it's only 18 from 33 players. So it's not automatic that you get a Signar player and you get a Haley 3 matchup. Which I'm a bit surprised. I've seen quite a few Siege 1, Siege 2 pairings, and there is still 10 players playing Haley 2 and 10 players playing Brisbane 1, so Siege 1, and 6 players still loving Nemo 3.
Tomek, did you play Haley 2 lately?
Nope, but I think it's all because of Matthew McWaters that said that Haley 2 is really good into Slayers. I think this is why we see Haley 2.
A specific build.
We had a chance to play with Marcin lately. And it's,
I was a bit rusty with Haley, but
it's
she's still good.
I mean, if you have 10 models or 12 models on the table, or then valuable models of the world, the important models. And I wonder if it's not. If the Ouroboros want, the bones, the bones lists that are prevalent right now, I don't think it will be. You have to watch out, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you have a chance to play it, try to play it.
Yeah, but you're speaking from the perspective of jack spam, right? That the fit really hurts you because you're melee oriented. Your jacks generally don't shoot. So under her feet.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you are if signal drop is your Kruger signal drop, then you are shooting anyway. So yeah, it doesn't matter for you. Yeah, you don't have to play it, right?
Yeah. But so I'm really currently I'm really considering if after WTC I will not be back to Signar.
Yes.
To check out the new possibilities. Because I like that the Brisbane one is back to 10 because I would choose him as one of my casters right now. And Krye would probably be on the list. The casters I want to check out. So I don't know why Krye is only one player. But maybe there is something I don't see. I haven't played Signar for a long time. So there is that.
Okay, so we go to Grimkin.
Off to next faction. This is a faction that has increase of 19 players. So seems like all 19 players from Signar went to Grimkin straight away.
Yeah, you said something similar about Krix.
Yeah, so it's 31 players.
I know one
playing Grimkin. Yeah,
I know one player, who moved from Signar to Grimkin.
Yeah, I know more. Yeah, also.
Yeah. So
Grimkin. I think Grimkin is ultimate WTC faction.
Yeah, because it can. Thanks to Arcanas, it can, so to say.
You can avoid hard counters.
Yeah.
And there are some for Grimkin, and you can tailor everything else to your needs. Sort of, let's say. If you avoid hard counters like grievous wounds or things like that, and magical weapons, and then Grimkin are really difficult to beat, I think.
Yeah. And the Dreamer is the most used caster. With 8. Yeah, 8 times. So.
23 players out of 31 are playing Dreamer.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong statistics. Last year, but last year it was also most
8 out of 9.
Yeah.
It's all padded down for 12. So if we have to blame somebody, and as a Polish people we love to blame, so it's fault of Pat Danforth and his Dreamer list.
Yeah.
23 Dreamers. Yeah. But it's surprising that there is right after the Dreamer there is a significant drop. There is no clear second, so to say. And there is a split between, maybe not almost equal, but it's 10 Heretics, 8 Childs, 8 King of Nothings, which is probably an answer to Dude Spams, and 8 Old Witches, and 5 Wanderers. So interesting, right?
There's no surprise with the Dreamer because she was buffed recently with new Steamroller package. I mean, having infinite amount of solos in your list, on Mirage is pretty good.
You can try to limit that by not having any models.
Yeah, but it's difficult. This is I heard today on their guidance where they were talking about Crucible Guard, and now when they thought that PP has done a great job with design of the Grimkin, and this is something that shows that it's really true, because you've got the one leading caster that is really good for the scenario play and for WTC, and all the rest are almost at the same level of popularity. So there is not like in any other big faction, there is no the long tail of the casters that nobody plays ever.
Yeah. So then
the limited faction is the most versatile one.
Yeah, but the sad thing is that with the teams they didn't do that such a good job, because Dark Menagerie 52 and Bump 10. So I think that they will change something with the Bump. I don't know what, but there are certain models that you never see, like piggybacks, like almost never Dreadrods. I haven't seen on the table, and I played quite a lot of Grimkin.
I would love to see archetype of list with piggyback spam like champions in Trolls.
Yeah, but they don't have a cost. I mean, Old Witch can support, I think, them, but it's still. There are several things that are not used at all, almost, in Grimkin. But still, come on, 31, limited faction, 31, so it's really...
Yeah, that top looks pretty convincing. Also, if you take a look at some Masters results, almost always there will be one of those factions up there. So there is something to say about that also. So this reflects a bit of power level probably.
And if you are looking for people leaving Signet and going to the new hotness, where are they? They are playing Animac.
Yeah. So the Legion increase from last year. They have steady increase over the years. So 2016 22 players, then 2017 27 players. Now it's 30 players. So increase of players all the time, and they are always complaining that Legion is too weak. And now they've got Animac box spam and tough spam, and the most tripping thing in life, if you kill a chosen that is 21 arm and then he toughs and goes back to 4 health.
Yeah.
Happened to me.
Take grievous wounds, Marcin. It's really easy. You take grievous wounds in large amounts, and it solves such a big amount of problems, really.
In minions, grievous wounds are on...
one model.
Yeah, probably. The caster...
no, 2 models. Long chops.
One of this... no, long chops doesn't have... he has no tough. But grievous wounds is on a sniper, on what's his name?
Alton Ashley. That's
ranged, and then melee in large quantities. No, Barnabas is one model also. The Bone Grinders.
Oh.
You probably never seen them on the table, but they have grievous ones. And they only were taken by Wormwood for souls.
And Craft Talisman.
Yeah, Craft Talisman as well.
Craft Talisman is cool.
But now they are not taken at all. It's because they don't survive.
The Legion of Everblight, and why there are 30 players, 21 playing Animac.
Yeah.
It's not only strong, but it's the really good answer to Grimkin.
Yeah. So the paper, scissors, and the rock is coming.
And I would guess to Signar as well, because the high anti-shooting armor.
I don't know. I don't
know.
I find Animac players try to avoid Signar.
Signar rock, right? Okay.
Yeah, because you can shoot down the Ogrun quite easily, and the Chosen.
Can you shoot down the Chosen though? it's 21 armor. So
Just
if you
one unit, okay, but still.
Yeah, and you have express teams, for example.
there are often 2 units. Yeah, express teams would be a problem, but
I don't think 2 units is a good choice. Honestly.
I don't know. I'm not playing Legion, and I probably wouldn't like to see 2 units because they are very irritating to remove.
Yeah, for certain factions.
Yeah.
But still they have...
For the faction I play.
Okay, for the faction I play. But, so we got Anamak 21 and then Tagrosh, so 1.
Yeah, Tagrosh, Kalus and Fianna. Last year it was, I guess,
Apsilonia.
I think, Fianna?
Yeah, Fianna was the top last year.
Yeah, Fianna was the top and Apsilonia 2 was the close second.
And here we can see the meta changing because... And it's not about the power level of the Fianna that has been changed. It's just that people stopped playing her because it was... I mean, she's not weaker. The team forces are stronger for Legion, so there could be as many Fiannas as he wants, but still, this is the new hotness that is getting played and not the old hotness.
I think the something changed in the meta because now we have usually answer for defense 15, 16 and stuff like this. Like Ogrons, for example, they go to mat 12 or something like this.
Yeah.
And
defense Q doesn't really work out most of the time.
Yeah, you need to be prepared for it. And back when Fianna was popular, there was not so many answers to high defense, so she had like extra turn.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think so. So one thing didn't change. So the Legion of Everblight is one big snowflake because I think they have most different casters on the list, and they lost twins. There were 7 players playing twins, and there are none right now, which is surprising, I guess, because Arek loves twins, and I was crushed by twins many times. So weird. Okay, next.
They got nerfed.
Yeah. Why? No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
They just Anamak showed up.
I think, yeah, I'm just joking because the Steamroller rules changed for the scoring the flags. And now the second twin needs to be in 4 inches, so you cannot score 2 at the same time with them.
I think it was. I thought it was always like this, but maybe I was wrong.
About nerfs and how nerfs react and people do react to the nerfs. Coven last year was the most popular, I think, and then one was the second popular, most popular in Crix, and right now there are only 5 Coven.
Mm-hmm.
So 25 or something like that.
Stop going back to Crix. Nobody likes
come
that
on.
faction.
Now we are playing the Colgrima faction, okay?
Not even the players that play Crix like Crix. So, all right, Trollbloods. Funny thing, 2016 Madrak 2 year. 32 players playing Trollblood. One of the most popular factions right after Circle, who had like 42 players. Circle, Christmas, remember everybody, Wormwood. And 2017 8 players, the largest drop ever, and then back to 28 players this year. So
the biggest rise also.
Yeah.
Ever.
So 20 players got back into the faction. So surprises, and probably thanks to maybe to many aspects, they got better probably after the CID. That's one, and Team Banky started playing them and popularizing them. That's second. And
they are playing Colgrima that Team Banky doesn't like.
Doesn't approve.
The players of the War are really freakly, and they cannot make their minds. But anyway, 20 Colgrimas.
Yes.
Have you ever played against Colgrima? Tomasz,
no.
Marcin?
I didn't.
I did.
Okay.
She's strong.
Do you find her that she... I mean, this is one of the rare casters that have... I mean, she can do a lot
importance on her spells, right?
Yep.
At the end of the game, she can, clear the infantry or do some strange stationary things and things like that. So.
Yeah, and assassination is always on the table. Yeah. She's quite flexible with really strong feet. So, yeah, I think is the right choice for troll players to have a white toolbox for the tournament like WTC.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm also surprised that Madrock 1 is only 9 players, and there is there's no clear second, I would say. Grim 1, Borka 2 are like most of the interesting second choices, so to say, to call Grim, right?
Is there more than one Grim 1 with 4 huge bases?
I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
Somebody wanted to travel the world with 4 huge bases. Although I will be traveling with 3. So.
So war wagon, there are 8 war wagons, so there are 4 lists, I think. It's possible, and there are 6 stickings, so maximum 6 lists. So, but if we calculate it, then it seems that there are 4 huge howlers. So there are 4 lists that are out of that are playing the list, I suppose, that Jaden took to
Lock and load masters. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead to Protectorate.
Yes.
It's also an increase from last year, and in 2016, Protectorate had 37 players. Then in 2017, it's 24 players, and now it's back a bit to 28 players.
37 players, because I was at this WTC, I remember. It was Amon and Heidi Kramer all day, all night long, okay?
Which is surprising, because 2017, it was still Amon. And Heidi
Kramer after the nerf.
All right.
And now it's Heidi Kramer is, I think, second caster in the Protectorate, if I remember correctly. Let me check. Yeah. 14. So.
Yeah, close second after Harbinger, who was suddenly recognized as good again after 2 years from Mark III.
Scenario.
Yeah, I know.
And
but
then
Scenario was always there, right?
And she got buffed, yeah.
Yeah, she got buffed, but those players were not playing, those 16 players were not playing her, or most of them were playing her already before she was buffed and before she was CID.
Do you guys think it was a bit like when CID started and they dropped the idea that they are going to buff Harbinger? Everyone, at least here in my meta, was loud about it, that she don't deserve it. But it quickly got quiet because no one thought it's going to stay that way.
Nobody will be pissing in their own bed.
Yeah, so after a while, people were like, yeah, she stayed like this, but she won't make it through the CID, so no one was worried about it, and there were almost non-battle reports with Harbinger because everyone ignored it. It was like a bad joke, and it actually made it.
Doesn't know bad jokes.
Yeah, we didn't put any record battle report, so we buffed her because she not.
Seems so she's so bad that even if we want to buff her, nobody wants to play her. So we need to buff her and see what happens. So now we'll see what happens.
16 out of 0 or 1.
Out of 4. Yeah, so.
But it's still a surprise for me because I was really the biggest surprise was when the lists were released that there is no more Protectorate. I expected it to be in much higher amounts.
They have really bad press. I mean, from the competitive point of view, they are not existent almost in USA. So they are not existent on the TGI.
We have to remember that the international meta and the drive to play factions competitively comes from some probably community leaders. You should know, Tomek, you are one of them for Silk right now. So if there is none, like very visible person that is winning something constantly, the faction will not probably grow as fast. Right now for POM is our friend Mateusz, but
And there is a Chandler from LOS, but he doesn't play that often in the big tournaments. So.
Yeah, exactly. And
but
if there was like 3 or 4 people, and DJI would show every second or third tournament that somebody is winning with POM, that the number would be much bigger.
Yeah, maybe. I thought people are going to take it because it's a new thing that just left the CAD, and you can
too little time probably to prepare. Remember, we are speaking about the most conservative tournament of the year.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't want to play against the double Revelator with the double
Judicator
with the double signs of coordinates. Okay.
Yeah, that's broke.
Fun times.
I mean, it's not broken because this is the meta dependent. Okay. But into the infantry spam, it's great. Into slayers, it's so I think. But if you have 2 of them, then you can prepare for that, right? There are not 2 slayers list because it's not possible. So
the Judicator is probably now the most focus efficient colossal. You can use it efficiently without actually allocating focus, and with Protectorate, you have a lot of ways to give focus, like Sevi Zero or Durant.
Or Heidi Kramer.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of shitload of focus from souls, yeah.
I was expecting to see a lot more Judicators.
I'm happy there are not so many.
That probably also is the conservativity. Not many players can afford to switch the list so close to list drop without testing extensively, and I would probably not decide to do it if I couldn't get like 10 games in. So if you have a tried list that you played 50 times that did not have a single colossal, now you want to switch for 2 colossals, that's a completely different list, right? Even if you have the same caster, or sometimes maybe even a different caster. So
if I had a Judicator if I had a Judicator in Circle, I would make that free. Yeah.
So, and probably if you are in Europe, it would be difficult to buy those Judicators because our distribution sucks. So
I would build them myself.
Yeah, because he's from Circle, so he will make them out of balsa wood or something like that. So we are going to the battle engine section.
Yeah, battle engine. So surprise or not surprise, Scorn has also steady growth from 2016. There was one of the last factions with 15 players, then it was 20 players in 2017, and it's now in the middle of the pack with 25 players, increase of 5 again.
And they look really good at the caster division, let's say, or the number of casters that are played. Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 casters that are almost at the similar level.
Yeah. Xerxes 2.
So the fast guy, the one that gives
the fast guy. There are 10 of him, and Rashid is 10, and it's no change from, or it's the change from last year is Rashid was on the top last year as well, so no change there. But there was Makeda 2 second last year. Now Makeda is a bit behind.
Get bored with the cat.
Yeah, get bored, and there are answers probably. Much more grievous in meta probably, etc. So she disappeared a bit, and then Xerxes took her place, and then Zadesh 2 and Morgul 2 are close behind. So a nice spread of the top casters.
But there are quite many spams of Basilisk Drakes, because there are 40 Basilisk Drakes, 39 to be exact. And they are spammable, so at least there are 4 or 5 players that are playing the spam of the Drakes.
Only 58 siege animatrix. So.
Is it the most popular battle engine? I think so.
Yeah, that might be.
I will check the Krix one, because this is the only one that I can think of. 53, yes. So siege animatrix, I think, is the most popular battle engine.
Yeah, I cannot think about any other battle engine that is taken
Maybe
more.
Signal one. I will check.
Not this year, probably. No, not even close.
No, not even close. 25.
Just
So
25. So 58 siege animatrix. That's has to be some kind of record, right?
I think it's quite powerful item and it plays really cool.
Yeah.
It does everything.
Imagine what will happen when the what's this called Supreme Guardian will start hitting the tables. I ordered 2 of mine already.
It will be most hilarious thing to see when people will try to avoid the treasure killing their own dudes. It will be so funny to see that when people really start hitting the table with this shit, and it will just swipe and kill like 7 guys of your own. Okay.
No, the funny thing will be that the Scorn player will bring his huge 1.20 m high bag and will take 2 Siege Animatrix for one list and 2 Supreme Guardians for the other list.
Why
and
not
then,
all of them in the same list?
Yeah. I don't think it's.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know if it's possible because Guardian is in the exalted, right? I'm going to check this because
only, but I have.
I would take it out of him.
Yeah, I didn't dojo Scorn so much yet. Although I'm gathering.
You wanted to play Signal? Come on. Do I have to remind you?
I'm gathering a lot of Scorn right now, but I checked the most obvious and interesting place for, not most obvious, but one of the interesting places for the Supreme Guardian is with cats and the medium infantry, and he cannot be taken in that team. So.
Yeah, I don't think that, honestly, I think that Siege Animatrix is safe bet for the following years for the score, and the Guardian won't be so popular at all. I mean, it will be like anything within 10% of the popularity of the faction, so there will be not so many as Siege Animatrixes, because it's when I hear people complaining all the time about stuff that they never played against or with, nothing changes. There is only war.
Some things never change. All right, let's go to a Snowflake faction.
Yeah, my favorite faction.
Yeah,
my true love.
It's not Snowflake anymore. When you began playing, it was only 10 players on WTC.
I was me. One of them was me.
In 2016, then there was double that, 20 in 2017. Now it's 23 players. So it's middle of the pack like Scorn nowadays. It's better than Circle in appearance.
You have to be unpolite. Why do you do that? Your colleague is playing Circle.
I said in appearance.
Okay.
So, what can we say?
It's Ostrom Magnus faction. Thank you.
Yeah, Ostrom like last year. So still, all the players that played Ostrom, they have the same list. They play it for the second year in a row.
No. I checked them and
they play more blasters, right? Because there is more infantry.
No, there are different. I mean, this is the caster that doesn't have a set up straight way of playing, because you have Jack spam, you have heavy Jack spam, you have bunny spam, you have hammer dwarf spam, you have solo shooty spam.
So I only thing that I hear is spam.
I think we can use this word for many things in current meta. So.
Yeah.
But what does it mean spam? Is 3 jacks of the same time spam already, or 4 jacks? Okay, I don't know.
You don't. Ostrom doesn't have 3 jacks of the same. He has like 7 blasters, 3 gunners, and 3 drillers. That's something is seriously wrong with that guy. It's almost Asphyxious level problem, but nobody cares because there are much fewer mercenary players.
Nobody's winning anything almost with the...
No, they are winning. They're just not so visible. But
76 blasters. 76 blasters.
Yeah, exactly. 45 nomads. So, and how many slayers there are?
Come on, do not compare the real king of the field,
shit.
okay?
239 slayers, okay, so that's why.
You are not in the same league, sir.
Yeah, mercenaries are... There are only 3 Ashlyn, which is... So it's generally only Osrum and Magnus. There are 3 Ashlyns, which one of them is counted double because it's alternate player from 2 teams. So it's actually 1 active Ashlyn player. And everything else is like Texas was last year taken 10 times. This year is only 2 times. So,
but I want to say something. Gorton, watch out for Gorton because it has been taken 2 times by Australian teams, or even 3 times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One,
the strongest fit in the game with control of 10. Yeah,
I don't think you are right, sir, because he's sort of like Magnus 2, but better, in my opinion. You will see.
Can you explain?
I hope I will not see. On his feet, I think he can push anything, everything in his control 8 inches toward any direction or toward any table edge.
No, it's a little bit different.
And something else, right? And
because you haven't said everything. So the other thing that is important. Every stat is every important stat is -3. And cannot give receive orders, cannot charge and trample. So -3 speed, -3 rat. So you cannot shoot, you cannot move, and you have lower defense.
But everything is pushed the same direction. So it can either toward, sideways, or backward.
Yeah. So the idea of the Gorton play is that you press forward and try to take as much space as possible. Then you just charge something and feed. Try to get something into the charge range, so he can get further up. Charge this and feed and remove everything. Even push even more with all the infantry that is tough and steady. Because most of the guys will be steady and within his control, and he uses tough models or high defense models, and then he will be behind the rock wall, camping in the middle and trying to win the scenario.
And exactly this is what I mean by Australians have their own meta, because one of those guys that 2 of them taken the Gorton, right, from Australian teams, one of them was the first one, and he showed them, look, I've got Gorton. Look what he can do. And then he smashed somebody with this into his face, and then he smashed another person, etc., etc. And after he smashed somebody 20 times, and another guy has said, hey, I want to take that Gorton too, because I like smashing faces as well.
Maybe
so they develop their own meta, right?
Maybe it's just good into something that's going to be popular in WTC, like 9 Slayers.
Yeah, it's cool. It's okay.
Maybe
because the Slayers will come and they will be blocked with the infantry that has tough. I checked the list. Tough on 4+, steady, and you have got recursion with Alexia, and then you move the Slayers out, make them -3 speed, and just try to win a scenario. So it's pretty cool.
If something is good into Slayers. It's good into like 40% of WTC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got like almost 240 reasons to take Gorton then.
Another joke. You are going out. Oh, I'm losing my mind, Marcin. Are you changing your drugs, your pills that you are taking every day?
I was pretty sick last 2 days, and I have taken some weird medication, and some of it might
ecstasy. I told you, ecstasy is
some of that medication might be out of date. So I'm just warning you.
Second joke in 1.5 hours. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right,
so let's go to Tomasz
faction. Tree Hugger faction.
No, it's the Tomasz faction.
Yeah, let's go back to year 2016, a year of Circle Christmas. 42 players, first faction in the game. Wormwood rules over all, and then year later, many people stopped loving.
Yeah. I will tell you.
Wormwood was nerfed.
No. It was Shishko came and cut down the trees. That's why.
Yeah, our minister for infra, so for the
Yeah.
Three.
True minister.
Three ministry. So 29 players Wormwood nerf, and then 2018 22 players Tomasz started playing Circle. So drop by 7 because you are now here, right?
That's a little bit too much on Tomasz's shoulders, I think.
Sorry, Tomasz. I think if it weren't you, it would be probably 15 players or something.
Yeah,
it would be with retribution back down there.
Hard to say.
It's dropping constantly, and it's almost dropped by half from start of Mark III. So PP has recognized now you need a CID.
Oh,
but come on, this is the faction of the bones, and there is nothing else almost. This is
ridiculous. We are now like limited faction, and the CID was moved.
Yeah, if you want to hear the 1 hour rant of how Circle Limited is, you can listen to LOS. Right? They had an extensive analysis of that.
A lot of Kruger, True, and Bradigus, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
I was expecting even more, so that was a bit of surprise.
More Bradigus or more Circle?
More Kruger 2 and Bradigus overall.
More than so it's 21 Krugers from 22 players, so probably there might be one more.
Yeah, this is the surprise.
And the
another joke.
And it's like stand-up.
Stand-up comedians.
It's a stand-up today. And it's like 13 Bradiguses or Torles. 13. So the only thing that you have some spread is the second list you take. It's like almost everybody took Kruger. And there's 40 Bones of Ouroboros teams from 44 teams total. So
yeah,
worse than Grimkin, right?
Yeah. But you are actually spamming something. You are spamming Blackclad Stone Shapers. You have 101 Blackclad Stone Shapers.
Everybody has to spam something, okay?
So this is a list that has of the things that needs to be nerfed. That's top 3 in every faction. So Blackclad Stone Shapers need a nerf because you have 101.
Oh, it's really good
and
for the Circle.
Sentry Stone Mannequins and 77 and Shifting Stone 67. So those 3 things. And everything is fine. And then last 3 things I also like. They need to be buffed. Riphorn Satyr needs to be buffed. Lord of the Feast and Wrong Guy.
It's not Lord of the Feast. I heard that. It's Lord of the Shelf.
Yeah. Lord of the Shelf. So Wrong Guy. And the most thing I like about it is Wrong Guy because I play minions. So.
You
could also.
After the release of the statistics and the lists, some people were pasting it all over Circle groups, saying that Kruger 2 nerf is incoming, and I was really surprised. Like they should fix everything else,
exactly.
not nerf Kruger, because the power level would be like basement.
And we are talking about basement. Then we can switch to the red faction.
Oh,
it's not Retribution.
The Kador, yeah. So the Kador, where
it looks very healthy. If you look at the casters and the teams, a really healthy faction, I would say.
It just many
doesn't like Kriegs.
In 2016, when there was no Kriegs, there was there was 30 players in Kriegs and there was 38 players in Kador. Yeah. Then 2017, it's still 36 Kador players. 2018 is 17.
I think there's something with the Theme Force that it's not only that they had their Theme Force first for the Jack spam, the Jaws of the Wolf, but the thing is not many players remember that this Theme Force used to take away your advanced deployment. Yeah. Now it says no ambush, but the benefit was really strong.
Yeah, he was auto drop because everybody played Irusk and wanted to drop that into the Wormwood because Irusk sees through the woods and things like that. So that's why it was automatic counter. I mean, people thought about that because it never happened in reality because irises lost to Wormwood anyway. But this was the counter, hard counter according to the meta to Wormwood. Didn't work at all.
So anyway, the Manowar faction dropped by 19 players. Oh, sorry, Kaidor faction.
Yeah.
You see what I did there?
It wasn't that good as the last one, so
I
you have to
know
work
it wasn't spontaneous. But the casters that are prevalent are the Manowar, so to say, Manowar casters. Vladimir 2, Zerkova 1, and Strakov 2, and Iris 2 as well. So everything that supports heavy infantry is there, and that
Vlad 2 supports everything.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, Manowars with the armor of 24 and defense of 15 seems like okay.
15? Oh.
It's +3.
Yeah, and they are base 10.
Yeah, but they have something else because I will check this because this information I got from my colleague that is playing Kaidor. So all complaints to him, but I will check what happened. Why is it 15? They have some special stall or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he told me about 15 shock troopers. Shield wall. No, it's not here. And maybe Vlad has some spell.
Maybe concealment from Sorsha.
No, it was in Vlad. A stale hand of fate. No. In glass. I don't know. I have to check this. Maybe
I've played into Vlad recently against Swedish WTC player.
And he was playing 13-24, right? He had the stats 13-24, right?
Yeah, something along the lines, not 24 because it would be in shield wall and I put rebuke there, so.
Yeah.
So sad days.
Yeah.
Okay. So Manowar's faction currently waiting for another CID. Retribution
Do you think that if just give me one more sentence on the Kaidor, do you think if Kriegs is less prevalent there will be more Kaidor? I think so. They are really
maybe.
cool.
Maybe. It's hard to say because do you think the lack of magical weapons is holding them back? There was an extensive so to say, extensive topics about it, a lot of topics about it, and the magic weapons problem can be solved. I don't know if Krieg's problem can be solved, but there was enough reverse cried about it, and I don't want to go into that. And about the reverse, so reverse of sadness, retribution of Syra.
Yeah, sure.
2016.
Yeah, the more you bait on the retribution of Syra, and you also say something like refugees of Ios, I suppose. But the more you talk about them, the more I wanted to play them. Because I think they are.
So if you want
it will be my third try to start retribution. Okay, if I get a box of retribution with the surprise shit from the PP, I will play retribution. Okay.
Mystery box, right?
I'm holding you to it. So in 2016, nobody knew that retribution of Syra or reverse of sadness was bad. So 34 players played it. Then 2017, they still didn't know it's bad. So 31 players played it. And 2018, it's really bad. So only 15 players. Minus 16. So one of the largest drops. I don't think
except
it's bad.
Kaidor.
I think
Kaidor also dropped a lot.
Yeah, I think. And look, Retribution has plenty of magic weapons. You cannot open the fridge and then there's magic weapon falling out of that fridge if you are living in there. So they're like shit and peace with magical weapons everywhere. The Jacks have it, the infantry have it. So they have like.
So there is no Krieg's problems. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, it's just completely opposite to Kaidor. Like they have magic weapons everywhere. So what's the problem, bro?
Everything else.
Everything else. I mean, I think it's a demanding faction to play, because you've got like Haley 2 level of caster. Old Haley 2 like Run it's very, very good caster. He can kill everyone everywhere, and you just have the patience. That's it.
I think that the problem is that they are really infantry faction, sort of, because their jacks are so-so. They don't have any built-in special things for jacks, like Kriegs has unyielding or incorporeal or carpers or whatever. And there is a lot of counter to infantry play, and that's why they have a problem like they do. Okay. They rely heavily because they don't have any multi-wound infantry, and there is so much hate for the one-wound infantry because there is no enough armor that can save your one-wound infantry in the current game, in my opinion. So, and most of their infantry is like one wound can get to high levels of armor, like 23, but does it really matter? There are things that kill things so hard that you need cheap shield, sort of like halberdiers or something like that, to just to stop from your army get roll stomped. And
so as always there is an issue, of course. The issue that Retribution of Syra players were complaining for a long time was that their teams were mismatched, and they needed them adjusted for a long time. So that was the things that their casters wanted together. They were not available in teams, and of course, if you want to be competitive, you have to play in team. So that was the forces themselves, or the units themselves, they were not a problem, right? Just the composition of the force. So you've got very strong, slow sentinels that hit like track. Then you have fast halbs that hit also very hard, but are easier to be dispatched by lighter fire, right? And but you cannot support them right with right tools. So that was the issue. But I think that most of the Retribution players are happy with like how the CID has turned, and right after WTC the CID will drop, and I think next WTC there will be more Retribution.
But can it be more than minions?
I think.
And the funny thing, do you know why 2016 there were 13 players of minions, and in 2017 when there were only 6? So why there were 13 players of minions in 2016?
I don't know. Why?
Year of the snake. It was the year of the thrown snake and the caster kill.
Yeah, 13 players, yes. That was the thrown snake. Then there was a hidden nerf to minions and the snake. So no power attacks on model.
And casters.
He lost flight, and
it was better than flight because he was thrown like the only thing that you have to worry about not to kill with the throw your own snake, because he was thrown like 2-3 times sometimes.
So the only thing you had to remember is to activate Dahlia after you thrown the snake a few times, so Dahlia can run up and kill him.
Okay.
So in 2017 was 6 players, and then rise to 8 players, so to 14 players by 8. So that was the after CID, after Gators, and a lot of things got buffed.
Yeah, it's OP faction.
Yeah, dopey faction. Yeah. Minions are cool. So what the casters? Maylock 9.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. I'm actually pretty surprised that there is not 10 or 11 Maylocks. Rask. Okay. I'm also surprised that Rask is so low, because he was always one of the most taken casters.
He's difficult to play, in my opinion. You can make one mistake and lose the game.
Yeah.
And our
because
secret Jaga Tech is not so secret.
Surprise, right? I was thinking, Jaga gunline. This is something nobody will think about. And it seems like it's a second taken caster in millions. Everybody thought that Jaga gunlines must be good. All right. So.
Marcin, I heard that Science and Sportnet is quite a good spell. Maybe this is the reason.
It's I heard it too. You heard it here first, folks. Silent Portents is a good spell. All right, let's go on. We are almost almost to an end.
Tomasz, are you here with us?
Or are you speaking?
But he doesn't like minions at all. So we go to convergence of Syra.
Convergence of Syra. This is something new. Cyrus. Oh, Syra. Fuck. Oh shit. Yeah, I wanted to make a good You are tired, or you wanted to make a joke? Let's make it. You wanted to make a joke.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the Galvanizer spam faction.
Yeah.
48. So, they don't even know how to spam.
So now you have to make a meme like the first one, Galvanizer on the picture, and there is we spam Galvanizers, and there is 44 or something. And below it's a Slayer. Dude.
Yeah, there's a 200 Slayer standing in the same spot, right?
Dude, do you even know how to spam?
I can teach you how to spam, bro.
Yeah. So
that would be cool,
Convergence in 2016 there was 9 players, and 2017 14, and now it's almost the same. It's 13 players. Might be lucky because prime number or something. So
the win percentage 100%. No, it's 99 because it has to be prime number.
Yeah.
But 99 is not a prime number. So
I thought there's going to be more.
Yeah, me too. This is ultimate. This is like Grimkin. This is ultimate WTC faction. So all the power gamers that want to win the WTC for whatever it takes, take Convergence in Grimkin, in my opinion, at least this year.
Yeah, but at least they differentiate in casters right now, because it was like Axis, Lucant, and Mother last year, and now it's Axis, Orion, Locke, Lucant, and Mother. Oh, only one Mother. Wow.
Yeah,
Haley too would like it. And
but you have played against. Tomasz played against Orion, right? Tomasz?
Yeah, I've played. If I was the Convergence player, I would take Locke, and I would let my opponent choose my second list, because I'm not going to play it.
It's not really funny. Funny thing is when your Colossal is dragging in the maintenance phase somebody's heavies into the melee range. That's really cool. I like that.
So that's your way of fun. Oh, okay, that's why you play Griggs. All right.
It's really funny.
So Convergence, Destruction, Initiative, Faction, and
but our colleague from the south is playing Clockwork Legions, one of the 4 guys.
One of the 4 lists. And then we go to the Crucible Guard.
Clockwork Legion in the south.
Is it Kruger not playing? Oh, okay. So I had all news.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So.
Locke and Orion. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Crucible Guard.
There is a faction called Crucible Guard, but they don't have models. So
even three players decided that there is enough for them releases to go to WTC with that faction, and 2 casters, Locke and Silvestro, and I guess in some matchups that might be good and enough, but most of the top faction, the top players did not decide in
playing Crucible, right?
Yeah, I think so.
John Fires. Yeah.
I mean, the faction is well designed and strong, so even with the things that are out now, it will pose a problem.
It can quite good play into Kriegs, no problem, I would say. In current Kriegs.
And if something can play into Kriegs, it will be good.
It's quite okay.
It's quite okay, right? And Locke and Sylvester, they are both very good casters, so
Yeah,
I haven't played enough games versus them.
Purification on the Rask, right? You love it.
Yeah, I love it. I just generally love Purification for free in my opponent's hand. Every time cost 4 spell get cast for free and just little dying inside every time, every turn.
What do you think?
Take my admonition. I didn't. I don't need it.
I don't need it. Take my submerge, please. Take my submerge because
I don't care. I just casted it because
Yeah, my zero. Yeah, my zero camp solo that is holding a 15-point Warbeast on him doesn't need a submerge right now.
Yeah, he will die like everybody else against the fire and the acid of the Crucible Guard. I like that Locke is having like if you put out all the upkeeps, you have a caster with 11 focus that on feet can purify everything on the table. I mean, within her control. It's also quite cool, honestly. I like her a lot. She's really fun to play. Even though she's better in Convergence, I like her in Crucible Guard.
And also, worth to note, more difficult to assassinate than what I would think.
What? Yeah, that is funny. Yeah. I like that Skin and Mouse couldn't kill my Locke.
When we play test games, we often take so to say assassination test as a without moving models as a point in the game. We just either pause the clock or just make a test. If I could kill your caster in the moment, and I think we tried 2 or 3 times in one game to kill Locke, and it never worked out.
The funny thing was when the junk, the drug overdoser had like 7 or 9 health and 4 focus, and you couldn't kill it with Brine. That was really funny. I liked it a lot.
That wasn't funny.
It was really funny because you put like 8. How many attacks? 8 or 7?
7.
7 attacks, and he couldn't kill the guy who was so high on drugs that he had like 9 HP left. So it's really cool.
And the pig was ashamed, and he was crying in the dark corner until the next day when he killed somebody else caster. Yeah,
the better ninja than the ninja pig. Yeah, I mean, don't take drugs, kids. It's not good.
All right. So we went over the factions, and so from that you can see that the main archetypes that evolve is like medium infantry spam meta with a lot of Manowarks, Primal Terrors, and Maylock, right? And then soon
and trolls.
Yeah, and trolls.
Champions.
And champions, yeah. And soon Circle will join with Tarn to that. Yeah. So we'll have to have definitely an answer for medium infantry. And then, of course, ever evolving and increasing and changing its face, but Jack spam meta with Gatsby, 9 Slayers, or Denegra 2, or Osrum, or Sloan, and
whole Convergence.
Yeah. And the whole Convergence. And then a bit of infantry spam meta, although it's less...
Circle. Circle is all about infantry.
Yeah, for sure. No, but Magnus 2 Halps was like with 52, and Retribution with Halps was prevalent for a while there, but I haven't seen it a lot. I thought that there will be more, but...
So what's the most popular single wound infantry? Banes?
No, I don't think so. I will check. Just pass. Banes. Everybody likes Banes. How many Banes are there? There are Bane, 48 units.
Right?
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, but 48, it's not. And let's say, how many Halps?
There are 12 Halps units and 11
not
press gangers.
Doesn't count. And how many champions? Bear handlers, 54. 54 bear handlers, okay? 43 token champions.
54, and there are 3 in the units, right? So there are still more slayers than
Banes. Banes.
Right.
Yeah, there are more Banes, I suppose, than any other, I think so. Maybe some Protectorate infantry. I mean, Choir doesn't count. So. Yeah, I think Banes are the most popular infantry, you are right.
Yeah. So...
I mean the fighting infantry, because there are more support infantry like Choir, like Beast Handlers and things like that. So yeah. So we are the faction of the spam.
But there is 30 Iridian Skirmisher units.
Okay, so quite a lot.
Yeah.
And they are 30? They are in Protectorate, not in Mercenaries.
So a lot of infantry spams in Protectorate.
Yeah, most of them are playing in infantry.
Choir spam.
Yeah, Choir spam, 51. So, but the Banes are the most prevalent infantry in the game, I think, right now. Because they are good.
Yeah.
They can kill things that
they shouldn't.
I mean, they are slow and they have 6 rat and no magical weapons, so.
Yeah.
Yes. So. Anyway, are we wrapping up?
Yeah, no, did you want to talk about some interesting lists?
I think we talked during the cast about things that we like.
Yeah,
yes, you want to say something? Yes, say this. Yeah, okay,
something else.
Spit it out.
I thought there will be more 2 of the casters because I think they are very good and it didn't show that in the numbers.
Cryer.
So Cryer from Signal. There's only one person with
I feel like we're starting the podcast again.
He's old. He's 40 already. He forgot.
Yeah. And Ashley.
Sure.
Marcin,
did I miss the memo?
Yeah, you talked about that at the beginning.
Yeah, but before but I didn't talk about the list. I just said about those 2. And what I wanted to say is Cry's list is pretty cool because it has Minutemen with Cry, which must look pretty hilarious on the long.
How long do they charge? How far? Or whatever.
I think they are more like going in and shooting and repositioning or something like that. Yeah, it's more like hit and run style of list, and maybe reposition into some weird spot where they contest and still are in control of Cray because of the long leash.
Mm-hmm.
So they, walk 6, jump, and they can reposition in 5. So they are really far away in weird spots with decent defensive stats, and you have to,
So Signal has a stalker.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, stalker with reposition.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. So it's like you have to contribute something, probably not a single model or 2 to dispatch it, or it will be biting you in the ass all the game, right? So I'm wondering how that Cry list will work out.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
and the Ashley list is actually in German list, and it's got like only Mariner in the WTC in the list. I mean, it's a really weird list. It's with Stoneblades and Trenchers, which is okay because you get a Cloud Wall and Stoneblades behind the Cloud Wall, so it will hit hard. And then Gaston Cross with Mariner. I guess for the extra range, right?
Yeah, for hitting something at long range.
I think I saw a similar list today in Arcane Assist battle reports.
Okay.
They've dropped it today, so you can see it.
I haven't watched it. And then Ashlyn has 2 Manglers.
Yeah, it was almost the same list, but no Stormblades, but the dwarves.
Okay.
Manglers. Yeah, I don't know why Manglers. I would
They are
always
really,
bet.
they are the strongest jack in the
Yeah, they
arsenals.
are. But why not Nomads, which are more point
Because
efficient?
she
so to
doesn't
say?
have a focus and they run a charge for free.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's so she can do more work then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And of course, the solo loadout like you would expect from Lily's Resistance, all the solos, which can be really good. Yeah. All right. So we can.
I talked about Gordon already, so
yeah.
that was my input.
Tomasz, you have some interesting list you want to share with us, or
Kruger too.
Kruger too? Okay. I think you have to see that list on the table to really appreciate it, right?
You have to play against certain Tomasz to get the feeling.
Yeah.
Have you ever played against yourself?
No.
Honestly?
Should I?
No, it's not like, have you ever played with yourself? It's not a question like that, okay?
You will get bad play experience if you play against yourself.
Yeah, because you are losing and winning and you are getting PTSD at the same time, okay? I tried that already and it's not nice.
All right. All right.
So it's
I'll
better
try
when
it tomorrow.
At least you can be 100% to win and lose at the same time.
and then you will get to play against somebody good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right.
Easy way to progress. Right?
Yeah, to get but are you really getting a better? I mean, for Marcin, it's not good because he's counting every game, so he would have the same amount of losses and wins at the same time. So doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a stagnation.
If Marcin played with himself, he would clock his opponent. It would be his win condition.
Every time.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right, guys. I think that's a cast for today.
Yeah, it was really nice to hear you again. Thank you very much, guys. Really, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Boxcars. I hope you liked it. See you soon.